What's up, guys? It's Carlos from the Just Fans podcast. Thank you guys for joining us live for It's Live Saturday night. Brought to you by us, the Just Fans crew, and of course, our good friends of Let's Talk Sports. Shout out to Dan for always making this possible. Thank you, Dan. Yes,
Hello,
sir.
Dan.
And Dan the man. So this one's for you, bud. It's gonna suck. Watch. I'm kidding. No. And so, first of all, we got Rios in the house. Let them know what's up, Rios.
Just a quick shout out. So shout out to my coworker Gloria. She's actually watching, and she got me this free shirt, the Spirit Animal.
Nice, nice, love it.
All right. That's awesome, Mattress Mac. And yeah, well, nice. I like it. I'm jealous now. I want that shirt. And of course, we got Poppy in the house today. What's up, Poppy? Let them know what's up.
No me digo nada, weón. Aquí estamos echando vaina, like always.
All right.
What? Anyway, so
We're good,
you're gonna
buddy.
have to we're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to Google that, guys. We'll later
Was
on.
that Klingon, sir?
He's so saying this. And of course, today we got our special guest. Today we got Ed. Ed from Ed in Columbus. But there you go, Ed. He was able to. He can spell his name out.
Hola, hola. I know Spanish. Hola, that's my. As far
Hey,
as
it's already better than both of these guys, so you're good.
Yeah, our Spanish is terrible, especially Rios.
Yours isn't that great either, buddy.
No, it's not. But it's. I'm happy to say it's a little better.
What?
All right, what's up, man? So, judging by your hat, you're a Cleveland fan. You're a Cleveland Browns fan. How's that working out?
Well, not too well considering that we just finished in last place. In the basement. We haven't won a division title since 1989, which it was the AFC Central at the time. And at that point, I remember I was 9 years old, and the Browns' last division title came with a win at the Houston Astrodome against the Houston Oilers. Bernie Kosar led the Browns down with a 2-minute drive, and we beat Warren Moon, and that was the last time the Browns celebrated a division championship.
So
I wasn't even born yet. So.
Yeah. Poppy was like nothing. He was negative.
I'm
negative.
still nothing, but
Well, the Browns have been pretty much nothing since then. So
there you go, Poppy.
So how would you, I guess, rate or walk us through like how you felt about this past season?
Yeah.
Well, disappointment. And it started with the suspension of Deshaun Watson. We knew it was going to be pretty substantial with all the allegations. So, I think a lot of Browns fans, including myself, weren't naive to the fact that the NFL was going to come hard on Deshaun. And when the 11 games came down, I think that we thought we could tread water. We looked at our schedule. It was very promising. It was very easy. Unfortunately, like the Browns, they, made everything hard and went 4-7 in those 11 games. When I looked at the schedule, I would have said they probably should have been 7-4, and then getting Deshaun Watson back for the 6 games, I thought maybe they could have at least a playoff push, but it didn't go that way. It's a Cleveland thing. We're used to it. I think what the most disappointing thing from this past season was not making the playoffs. We're used to that. It was actually the fact that in those 6 games, watching Deshaun Watson and seeing that he wasn't quite up to what he was in Houston, we knew that was going to be the case, but I just thought there were some things. And I think Kevin Stefanski, along, with the other offensive coaches, have to get a better game plan for him. I think the offensive linemen, I think they're not used to, holding their blocks with a dynamic quarterback as Deshaun is. Those offensive linemen were getting penalties for being down the field and things like that because they're not used to actually having an athletic quarterback with actually talent. One thing Cleveland's been devoid of is actually a quarterback. And, I'll say one thing about Mr. Watson, say what you want about him off the field. I saw what he did in Houston. I saw what he did at Clemson. I don't know if he's Michael Jordan like Dabo Swinney said. I'm not ready to say that. But he definitely is probably the most promising quarterback Cleveland has had since Bernie Kosar. So I think that, looking forward to next year, I think that we have to get him back to what he was, at least 80% of what he was in Houston. And I think we'll be fine. I don't know what fine is anymore, but I'm a scarred Browns fan.
Better than last year. Better than
last year. Then we'll start there.
There's the bar.
The talent's still there. It's just, he hasn't played football in almost 2 years. I mean, he was going to be rusty.
Yeah, and I think that was the case. But I think that when Deshaun chose Cleveland, which, let's be real, $230 million guaranteed, was probably the first priority and why he chose Cleveland. But then he said that, he worked with Kevin Stefanski. They talked, and, he liked Kevin. And, the fact that Alex Van Pelt is going to be the quarterback's coach. I mean, once Cleveland did some reshuffling in the offseason this past couple of weeks, I think Deshaun Watson has enough, pull in Berea that whoever he wants to be, his quarterback coach at least. I think that he would have say. So the fact that they could keep some continuity there makes me, feel good going forward. I think Stefanski's a good play caller. My question with him is being a leader of men. I saw him in Minnesota when they got blown out by San Francisco in a playoff game. My thing with Kevin is I think that being a football coach, just like Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, I don't know if X's and O's, you have to be the best X's and O's kind of person, but you have to have command of that locker room. And I don't know if Kevin has that. And so hopefully next year they get off to a quick start because he's on the hottest of hot seats, I think, in Cleveland next year. They get off to a 1-5 start. I think Jimmy, gets rid of them. They got Jim Schwartz as a new defensive coordinator. I think he might assume the role, or their special teams coach, Bubba Ventrone. He's been named special assistant. So I think that he might take over as Browns head coach if Kevin Stefanski gets off to a slow start next year.
What do you think the goal is long term for the Browns?
It's got to be Super Bowl or bust. When you go out and get a franchise quarterback as Deshaun Watson as what they expect him to be,
right,
is what it's got to be. And also too, the stadium lease in Cleveland ends in 2028. And from some of the rumblings that the Haslams are going, they want to build a dome. I think that's what they want to do. And the best way to get the public on your side, because there's always, just like anything, you've got in Houston, you've gone through stadium funding and this, should we spend it on education? Should we spend it on other things?
Overrated.
I always say this, I'm for public financing of stadiums to a certain extent. I do think the owner should chip in some, but the best way to get the public on your side is to have a winning football team. So I think the goal is in the next 2 to 3 years, get to the upper echelon in the AFC, compete with Buffalo, Kansas City, be in the hunt for a 1 or 2 seed every year. And then obviously the sentiment to get that new dome built would be a lot higher than it is now.
Yeah.
I don't know about competing against Kansas City, but okay.
Yeah, well, you got to be the best. You got to beat the best.
Yeah.
I don't need to be the best. I just need to be good at this point. As a Texas fan, bro, I just want to be good.
I got a question for you. Houston, very interesting with the Texans. What are they going to do long term? Are they going to draft a quarterback this year?
They have
to.
They
better.
So.
There's no plan B. Otherwise.
After this past weekend, there's no way they pass up on any one of these quarterbacks.
I like
CJ. I don't know. I don't like him that much. I don't know.
See, the thing about CJ is I like him. He's it's just I would rather, not that I would. I mean, yeah, I'd say I would rather my first choice be Bryce Young. Yeah. If we're gonna go through it, I know they talk about his size being an issue or whatever, but that's you can write offenses for that. You know what I mean? There's been plenty of undersized quarterbacks, Drew Brees, Doug Flutie, like in the past that have been.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I shy away from small quarterbacks. I did the Colt McCoy thing. I did the Baker Mayfield experiment.
Yeah.
We remember the Baker Mayfield, but would you agree that Baker Mayfield was a talent issue most likely than not just really his size?
I think you're right about that, but also too with Baker, I think he lost the locker room. It was very telling in Cleveland when Myles Garrett and the defense wouldn't really stick up for Baker. Everybody's like, "Oh, Baker, he's this, he's that." Well, why is it that the locker room doesn't like him? No, there's a lot of Cleveland fans, or Baker Bros, as we call them, and they're still out there today. You get on Brown's Twitter, and they'll defend him. He could murder somebody on East 9th Street.
We know we got fans that do that for Davis Mills, our current quarterback. So
only God knows why.
Yeah.
They stick their neck out for him, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. Literally.
He doesn't have enough to stick for himself.
Yeah,
right.
He's clearly not enough neck for him to stick up for himself.
Yeah, the Houston Zoo, giraffes, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Like Rio said, it's more neck than talent in that man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the reason why, look, I CJ Stroud, I'm an Ohio State graduate, so I am a Buckeye honk, homer, and shill. But here's the thing with CJ Stroud, which I really like. And I'll be real with you, I am not the biggest Justin Fields fan because I think you got to be able to throw the football. And everybody's like, oh, he can throw the football, he needs talent in Chicago. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of coaches that have been fired in Chicago recently that if he could really throw the ball as good as what they say he can, then I think they would have had him at least attempt more passes. He's a great talent running the ball. Here's the thing about CJ Stroud. I was down on him a little bit, but then I saw him against Georgia in the game the Buckeyes should have won. He dominated that game. He was the best player on the field. And that scramble that he had in that throw to Marvin Harrison Jr. in the end zone, that is NFL stuff written all over it. The kid, one thing about CJ that we didn't know, he grew up with a dad that had been in jail. He lived in an apartment, went through high school, came to Ohio State, never talked about it once, just finally recently came out because of all the NFL Combine thing. Kid has had a tough life. The kid has overcome. The kid is a winner, and I think that he would be a perfect fit in Houston. So, look, Houston Texans be my number 2 team if they draft C.J. Stroud.
See, when you said that against that game, like he started scrambling more, and that's something that he wasn't used to doing in Ohio State. Correct? He was more of like in the pocket passing kind of quarterback or whatnot. But apparently in that game, I think it was against Georgia. If I'm not mistaken, yeah,
Yes.
it was against Georgia. He just started scrambling, and it opened up a lot of people, and obviously his stock went up based off of that because they're like, oh, the kid can actually like scramble around and things like that. He's got a
He
cannon
can make
on him.
plays.
which
He
is
can make
good.
plays
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, you know what? It stemmed from Urban Meyer. When Urban Meyer was the coach before Ryan Day, he would run his quarterbacks. I think they averaged like 215 rushes per year. It was ridiculously high. And CJ's probably, when Ryan Day took over, Justin Fields obviously can run, but he tried to make him more of a pocket passer because one thing Ryan Day does, he gets a lot of flack in Columbus a lot because he hasn't beaten Michigan in the last 2 years, but he actually he cares about the kids. And when they go to the NFL, he looked at CJ and thought, I'm not going to get this kid killed. And he knows he's a good passer. In Michigan, he probably should have ran him more because I think against Michigan, if he would have scrambled a few more times, that game could have been a lot closer. He knew he had a win against Georgia. CJ has that scrambling ability. But one thing, just like in the NFL, I don't need you to be the best runner like a Justin Fields, but you look at like an Aaron Rodgers. You look at these quarterbacks that are nimble. Even Kirk Cousins, say what you want about him, but in the pocket, he can move around. He can do some things. He can get first downs. If it's 3rd and 5, so I need a quarterback that can get those, 5-6 yards or whatever like that. I think CJ Stroud's a perfect fit for that. He's got great arm talent. Nobody's ever said one bad thing about him. And I think Houston, you look at that team and the roster, it's young. They stripped it down. They're rebuilding now. Nothing better than a clean-cut guy like C.J. Stroud. I think that would help build the Houston Texans in the years to come.
Do you think would you put him over Bryce Young only on?
Yes,
on
I would, and I wouldn't have done it if I didn't see the Georgia game because I didn't really know how good of the pocket presence that C.J. Stroud had until that Georgia game. You're talking Georgia, the Bulldogs, the best defensive line, the best defense in college football, and we shredded them. A Noah Ruggles missed 50-yard field goal. As I'm watching the ball drop on one TV. He kicks the ball, literally falls as it turns 2023. Way to ring in the year, but that was heartbreaking for us Buckeye fans. But that game definitely has reshaped my thinking about C.J. Stroud. I didn't know if he could be, an NFL quarterback to the caliber that I think that he can be. He can be elite. He can be a franchise quarterback, no doubt about it.
I feel the same way. I feel like he could be a franchise quarterback pretty much anywhere at the moment. I feel like as Texans fans, since we don't have control of the very first number 1 pick.
Thanks, Bills.
Well, thanks to Lovey too. Because we don't have that control anymore. A lot of Texans fans, me included, were like very upset because we wanted Bryce. And now you never know what Chicago's going to do with that pick. You never know who's going to try to trade up or trade down. With D'Amico and the coaching staff moves that we've been making, I am starting to feel more and more comfortable with the idea of a CJ. But to answer the question, is like we do need a quarterback at this point. I would much rather have Bryce, in my opinion. I've seen him play more. But CJ, we talked about him as a consolation prize. Like I said, I would much rather have Bryce, but
I got a question because I really feel that Bryce. I think that his stock, honestly,
and it could be hype. It could be the media. It could be everything.
I think the hype comes from, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think the more Jalen Hurts played better for the Eagles this year, I think the more Bryce Young's stock went up because I think a lot of people look at that comparison and they think this could be the next Jalen Hurts. And that's why I think that maybe Jalen Hurts is just special. And I think definitely he is, but I don't know. I look at Bryce Young and I see somebody that could be good. I think he could be maybe a Russell Wilson, and that's not a bad thing. But I look at, but I don't look at Russell Wilson as the 2 Super Bowl years. I look at more of Russell Wilson as
last year.
Not that bad. Hey,
that's right.
Yeah,
Let's ride. By the way, Rios, you got a fan right here, Gloria
Yeah,
Hernandez.
it's Gloria.
Says,
She
"Órale,
told me
Rios."
to She
Oh,
told me to give me the
gotcha.
shirt.
That's a
How much you
sexy
pay?
shirt, Mattress Mac.
Yeah, how much you paid it, bro?
I don't make enough to pay people, sir.
Whatever. I don't know, man. I feel like we've known for the last couple of years that Jalen Hurts was actually a very good quarterback. So I don't know if him playing better made Bryce Young look a lot better. I feel like Bryce Young has had really good games, and like I said, it might be a little bit media, a little bit hype, but like I said, I'm coming around to the idea of CJ as well. I wouldn't be upset with either one. All I know as a Texas fan is that we need a quarterback.
What are you willing to trade? Okay, so say the Bears say, okay, we'll trade the number 1 pick to Houston. What are you willing to give up for Bryce Young? I mean, do you think he's that special, or do you want to give up number 1 picks, or would you rather have a consolation prize be a Will Levis?
I'll give them Davis Mills and like a Subway footlong.
Fair enough.
We'll give him Davis Mills and some brisket.
If you would have asked me a month ago, I would have given up a good package for that. But like I said, I've come with DeMeco. Like I'm starting to be more confident in DeMeco getting the right guy for the system and trying to, like you said, we're rebuilding. So trying to rebuild with whoever we end up choosing, rather than we need to get this guy no matter the cost.
Yeah.
Like I said, a month ago I would have said something different. Right now, I'm waiting for the draft night. We'll see what happens, and then we'll talk about what our thoughts are. And
I could see CJ in a Shanahan offense. Like, he would fit perfectly in it. But I think Bryce would be a better fit. But if we get CJ, he would be a good fit in that offense.
Yeah, like a dream draft night for me would be we come out with a quarterback and we address some of the other positions that we need. Thanks to the fact that we have 2 first-round picks, I'm feeling pretty good about how the draft is going to be, especially if we look at the draft last year. I feel like we had a pretty solid draft, and if the front office can go 2 for 2, I'll be happy with that.
See, in Cleveland, we don't have a first-round pick, obviously, because we traded for.
Thank you. Thank
you. You're welcome. And that usually is our Super Bowl. The draft is Cleveland's Super Bowl. We don't have that, so we got to start winning on the field in the fall now, which is something that
I mean, for us, good thing the Astros are actually good, because otherwise, I don't know what I'll be doing with my life.
And congratulations! I was really happy for Dusty Baker winning the championship.
Yeah,
they did it for Dusty, definitely.
And for Mattress Mac,
yeah, who's a big integral part of it.
He's a fun guy. He's a fun guy. The things that he does and the bets that he has. I know he hedges his bets on, probably the number of mattresses he sells, and good for him. But he's such a character. He's such a character. I love him. I love watching his tweets and stuff like that. And and you guys have him as your own in Houston, so I think that's pretty cool.
The World Series turned around when the city of Philadelphia came after Mattress Mac.
You don't mess with Mattress Mac.
He needs a statue. He needs a statue outside of it.
Yeah.
I'm just happy for all the Yankees fans out there.
That's one thing we have in common. We can bash on the Yankees.
I'll take a Yankees bashing any day. That's always great,
especially in October.
The team owned by Jose Altuve, right? Yeah. He's the owner and CEO of that team.
No, but hey, can I really quick? Right when you said about CJ, like I still would rather do Bryce Young. I would still like to have him on the team. Like Poppy said, I do trust the DeMeco Ryans process. What's happening? It's like finally a glimmer of hope that we've had on this team that we haven't had in the last few years. And to me, it's always been it's been like after those games, I was like, you know what? It's either 1A or 1B. It's either one or the other, and I'm okay with either one. I obviously prefer Bryce, in my opinion, but if we got like CJ Stroud, I wouldn't be upset at it. I'd be like, you know what? This kid can thrive, and I like I said, I trust that DeMeco Ryans process, and I'm glad that we finally have somebody like that to trust, And I know we've gotten a bad rep that that we've let 2 coaches go in the last 2 years. But if we think about it, I've said this before, David Culley wasn't really a coach to begin with.
He's living his best life right now. He was at the UH game the other day. Like, he's living his best life.
Yeah, he's fine. I think the Texans paid him substantially enough to, you know what? Yeah, Levy, we can just have you've had the title of a head coach. and now we can move on for like a year. That's fine.
He's a Galveston counting his money. He's like,
yeah, he's chilling, whatever.
Don't ever apologize. As a Cleveland fan, we've gone through coaches like nothing basically, and we've had a couple coaches, one and dones as well.
Right.
And I always say this, look at those coaches like you just mentioned. Nobody else is going to hire them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So
it's almost like one and done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, with Lovie Smith, there was a glimmer of hope, but the problem with that is, and
it was
mostly the beard.
He had a good beard.
The Lovie Smith thing, it just started happening right after, they were trying to hire Brian Flores, and that didn't go through. And then that lawsuit with the NFL. And so, it felt like, and the reason why it felt this way is because the Texans had Lovie Smith right there. He was our defensive coordinator, and then suddenly Brian Flores' thing, escalates. I'm sure the Texans didn't want anything to do with it at the time. So they're like, oh, look, we have Lovie Smith here. Why don't we interview him? And, I wish it would have worked out with Lovie in some ways. That would have been kind of cool, but it didn't, and then it didn't work out that well. Yes, you could argue that, he's a defensive-minded coach, and but then again, it's not just that really. It's just the fact that even as a defensive-minded coach, like his focus was going all on defense this year too. So there was no room for like offense, and you got to see that struggle. Like the only glimmer of hope that we had on offense was Dameon Pierce this year. And that was it. Other than that, you didn't really have much. You had a little bit of Chris Moore, wide receiver here and there, made a few connections with Davis Mills whenever Davis Mills wasn't overthrowing him. And then, he's got good, he's got good side of the field. There's no excuse. And so and then Brandon Cook's situation also.
Yeah, we'll take him in Cleveland, by the way. Brandon Cooks. I'm glad you mentioned him.
We'll get another first pick.
I'll take another couple of picks. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'll walk him over there. I'll walk him all the way to Cleveland.
I'll drive him. I have cousins out there, so I have a place to stay.
and so that's what I'm saying. Like I think nothing was right with the whole Lovie thing, and then it just didn't click. So I understand why he had to be let go. I think it was the right call.
I think he had to be let go because he lost us that first goddamn.
Well, I mean, yeah,
pick.
That was terrible. That was awful. But you could have just told the guy, "Hey, can we meet after the game?" and not let's meet 2 weeks before. It gives you a chance to,
I would have been like, "Hey, you lose that game, we'll give you a $1 million bonus, whatever." Yeah. Don't care. Let's go.
It would be a shame if that game got lost and somehow you can't have more money.
Here's a lot of Whataburger. Do not win this game. Do whatever it takes to lose.
Because think about it. If we had the number one pick, let's say we didn't want Bryce particularly, right? We could have traded down. We could have used that first pick, get something out of it.
Yeah,
maybe a player. Or
it
something.
Was such an asset. It was such whether you take that pick or not.
Exactly, because there was always going to be the next quarterback as number two. Like you always could have done that. So
you had control of the draft really at number one, and now Chicago has it because it can easily if they don't fall for the Texans, if they don't fall for like Will Levis or not Will Levis, I'm sorry, Will Anderson. I apologize, Anderson or Carter, like. They're definitely going to start trading.
Plus, who cares about Chicago? The Bears ain't doing anything.
I thought about this crazy idea, guys. So now they don't play the Pro Bowl. I mean, they play, dodgeball and they play all these other things for the Pro Bowl.
A waste of time.
Instead of tanking, why don't they do this? Whoever finishes with the worst record and the second worst record that week before the Super Bowl, you play. Whoever wins that game wins the number one pick. Let's do something fun here.
Ooh,
that gets relegated to the XFL. I'm kidding. No, that
I like that. I like that. See, the winner gets the number one pick, and the loser goes to the XFL. Boom.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Relegation.
Everybody wins.
Win-win. It brings the Roughnecks to the NFL.
Well, I don't think this Browns had. This probably would have been in the XFL a long time ago. But then again, the XFL wasn't around. So USFL, let's roll.
USFL, let's go. Let's ride.
Season 2 starts pretty soon, I hear.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait till draft night to see what happens. I know it's gonna be pretty exciting because I feel like there's gonna be trades coming. There were rumors. I don't know if it has been confirmed about Lamar going to Washington or not, but I feel like a lot of quarterbacks can still move this offseason. I was looking at reports like maybe the Jets might land Carr if Rodgers isn't available. We don't know where Rodgers is going to go. We don't know where Carr's going to go. Jimmy, I have no idea. Tampa Bay is looking for a quarterback. The Colts are looking for a quarterback. 49ers might be looking for a quarterback. I don't know what their plan is with Brock gone for the season. So
morning, Joe, by the way.
Yeah, but do you really want to like, I don't know what you want to do.
Baker Mayfield of the 49ers.
At this point,
honestly, I can see it happen,
I can see that happening. Baker to the 49ers.
That team is quarterback proof. You put one of them.
I think Shanahan has proved you can put anybody back there and they seem to just win.
Yeah. So I feel like the draft is going to be interesting. I feel like this offseason could be a very good one as far as shaking up the league. I feel like for by week 1, we're going to see a lot of teams looking a lot different. So
yeah, there's going to be a lot of quarterback movement. Also, there's going to be lots of movement. I see Derek. I see Derek Carr going to New Orleans. That's how I see it. I see. I'm thinking. Yeah, it's the only thing with the dome. Like he can't play in the cold. Like we can't play in the cold, so he's at least got to win half his games, right? No, so that's
for the dome and in the South.
Yeah. Exactly. So I see Derek going to New Orleans. I see Lamar Jackson. I don't think the Ravens keep him.
I thought he was going to stay. I thought he was going to stay, but now I don't even know.
I see him in Atlanta. I could see him going to Atlanta.
Yeah. I see Garoppolo in Indianapolis for some reason.
Yeah, I can see
but
I can see that.
I can see that, but I feel like what does that do for the Colts really?
They're used to doing that though. They'll bring in one guy for 1 year, get a next guy. That's what they do. I don't know.
And that's the thing though, because like they this year they were talking about we don't want a Band-Aid quarterback. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what Jimmy G would be.
Anthony Richardson. After his combine performance, I think they're going to fall in love with the physical specimen. They're not going to look at the important part of being a quarterback. Throwing the ball. Like,
the fact that he's only 54% at completion percentage, they'll just look. Yeah, they don't.
They're going to go by the combine only and not his 54%.
The underwear Olympics gets a lot of people sold on people.
Yeah, because all you see on Twitter is Anthony Richardson, just the hype about his numbers.
He can jump.
Like, yeah, he's a great athlete. We knew this was going to happen, but as far as like the mechanics, the accuracy, like you're not going to fix that in year 1, maybe not even year 2.
I don't know, man. I feel like I can see Rodgers in a Colts uniform for some reason.
Nah.
Oh God, please, no.
I think the Jets.
Want that man over here? Yeah. We suffered enough with Peyton. Are you kidding me?
I don't know if Rodgers goes to the Jets for some reason. Like
I don't see him to the Jets.
That doesn't seem right.
It doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right at all.
He's going full Brett Favre.
I was gonna say maybe Tampa Bay, but then I realized Tampa Bay is broke, so they don't got nothing.
They are pretty broke, getting rid of everybody.
Yeah, they're trying to make some cap space. So yeah, I don't see him going to Tampa Bay.
I can see the Colts going for either Levis or AR-15, just because again the physical aspect. Yeah,
they should.
Not so much the tape or the accuracy
or the talent or anything.
Just they're big, strong. They can throw the ball far. They can run fast, but. I hope they do because those are projects.
I think also got the Raiders though. You got
teams they can sit.
Yeah, the Raiders is another team.
You got the Raiders because the Raiders are sitting at 6. The Colts are sitting at 4. The Raiders can actually make something with Chicago happen and maybe they get the first pick. Ooh. Maybe they get Bryce. Like that's a scary thing. After that, there's really no other teams besides I think the Panthers that are in that draft order. To how do you call it? To
make a move. Yeah, to make a move.
I think Carolina. I can't remember what number Carolina's sitting at. That's
they're like I think 7 or 8. They're in the top 10.
Their usual spot.
The usual spot every year.
There's at least 4 or 5 teams that are going to be quarterback hungry, especially after seeing AR-15s. Combine. Like they're going to roll the dice and bank on that upside as far as running the ball.
I heard rumors today that they said that a lot of teams are inquiring about moving because they think he might fall into the top 10. I mean, I think
they're still going to be in the top 5, which is bizarre.
Crazy.
I'm like, the Panthers they can jump high, but like the quarterback position is about finesse, throwing the ball, being accurate.
Yeah. So we're looking at. Remember, I said the Raiders. I'm sorry, they're sitting at number 7. I apologize. The Raiders are sitting at number 7. So But then the Falcons are right underneath them at 8, and then Carolina's at 9.
Oh, those are all 3 teams.
Those are all teams in
wow.
April.
Yeah. So I just realized that.
Thanks, Lovey. God damn.
So those are all teams that that are quarterback hungry. So
I mean, hopefully someone is dumb enough to trade up to get to number 1, get Anthony Richardson, and hey, we get whoever we want at that point.
Yeah,
that would be best case scenario. But even that,
like, he's a great athlete. I just, as quarterback, I just don't see it, man. Like, you can't change your accuracy from that being a 54% at college to
the NFL, right? Like playing against some of the best defenses that there are.
Yeah, something's Yeah, I you look at like Eli Manning and things like that. I mean, as good as he won 2 Super Bowls, he wasn't that completion percentage. He was like 61, 62%. It never really got better. And I like quarterbacks that are accurate. That's why I like Deshaun Watson, because he is around that 69 to 70% accuracy mark.
Hey, but Eli beat Brady when it mattered, man. Like, he's always gonna have my respect.
He did.
He's always gonna have my respect. He
will not.
Brady when it mattered.
Eli cost me money. No, I will always hate Eli.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but he made Brady cry. Okay, that's all I need.
I know. To catch 22. Like, I don't want to see Brady succeed, but I want to win money.
No, I mean, you are wearing the Mattress Max shirt. It's all about that cash, right?
Right, you are.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Nice.
As far as quarterbacks go, for the draft, man. Like I said, I'll be happy with either one.
It's a crapshoot every year. Every year we fall in love with these guys and think these are going to be the next round of 3 or 4 stars. And,
you really never know.
I mean, you look at the Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, and things like that. And let's be real, even with Patrick Mahomes going at 10, people didn't. You don't know. It's where you go. It's who develops them. It's not about, that's why I think Bryce Young, to your point, why I don't like him because of his size and things like that. But I think out of all the quarterbacks, because he is a winner, he is really good. I think he is the safest of the quarterbacks. I think whoever gets him, he will be a good quarterback. I don't know if he'll ever be elite. I think he has a chance definitely to be elite, depending on where he goes. But, I would say maybe that's why I would take him number 1, because, like you said, CJ Stroud, even Will Levis and things like that. They could be good. I think CJ Stroud's going to be good, but I don't know. He could be I don't know. I mean, to say that we're all experts in this, even the experts don't get it right.
You don't. We had I don't know.
Quarterback in this draft.
I'm going to say it right now. Both CJ and Bryce, Hall of Famers.
I like Bobby. I love it.
I'm telling you already, man. Already.
Love it.
Yeah, man. There was who was it? We were in a podcast a while back, and then I think one of the guys there mentioned that he felt like CJ Stroud was like a Sam Darnold, like compared to Sam Darnold. I was like, wow, that's pretty. That's pretty. And so I was like, really? And so he compared to Sam, and it was just like, wow, that's a. And I guess he saw the quarterback class. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Bob. Might have been Bobby from Let's Talk. I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember. But I think he talked, and I might be misquoting, but he rated them pretty low. So he said he wasn't too excited about this quarterback class. He said the following year's quarterback class was going to be a lot better. I mean, I guess because Caleb Williams and stuff like that. I just
but then again, he always that year also. Like, we've seen it before with Sam Ewell, or he was the next big thing, and look at him now. He might lose his job to Eli Manning's nephew. Like,
he can always go to the XFL, dude. They can always thrive there.
I mean, to me, Ewell he's basically Johnny Manziel with a mullet and a sleeve. Same type of player.
You mean the guy that came to Ohio State? He was at Ohio State for a while.
Yeah,
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, so he's more attitude than talent.
Yeah, he got a big NIL deal up here in Columbus. That's why he came.
Yeah.
Dude, no,
I got a question for you guys. I always want to know this answer, because obviously you're in the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. Love Texas. But will the Texas Longhorns ever regain control of that state, or is it
absolutely not?
No,
it's all about the Cougars.
It could definitely happen. It could definitely happen because they do have a good.
Are we talking about football, or are we talking about anything else?
The football, because that's what they care.
That's the thing. That's what they're known for. I don't see that, because we used to have Tom Herman. Right? Remember we used to have Tom Herman, right?
He was at Ohio State before.
Yeah, and so Tom Herman, he made the Cougars, like, the Cougar football pretty relevant again, right? Because for like years before that, it wasn't all that. I think until we had like Case Keenum before that. and that's when it was. And then after that, it just kind of went kaput. And then we got Tom Herman, and boom. So then obviously, like we've had this thing where those two big universities, Texas A&M and Texas, they take away our coaches back to back, and it doesn't work out for them. Remember, like was it Tom? I can't remember from.
First, it was the guy. I forget his name, but he left us to go to A&M. They had okay seasons. They made it to the SEC, but he never won anything with them.
Yeah, and then finally we had Tom Herman, who UT took. And then he never got him to that level. Like it would have made sense. Like I see from that standpoint, Tom Herman like should have taken them to the promised land to be a better team, to be UT again, but it didn't happen. The
boosters run that team. They basically run the team. They decide to make decisions, and that's what kills that program. It's the boosters, because they make all the decisions. Oh, we don't like this kid. We don't like this guy. Like they make all the decisions, and look at the
Matthew McConaughey does it.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been
all right.
mediocre since Vince Young was there. Like that was 20 years ago almost.
Yep, 2006. Yeah.
I can definitely see it happen though. Like I feel like we go through eras, we go through phases.
20 years.
Hey, it happened because they dominated for the longest time as well. What'd you
say? They're the Dallas Cowboys of college football.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good assessment.
Yeah.
I just think college football is better when the traditional powers are good. Like I always love the teams like when Baylor's good or TCU. Don't get me wrong, I love teams like that. But the traditional power, Ohio State, USC, Notre Dame. I'm not the biggest Notre Dame fan. Believe me, I don't like them at all actually. But college football is better because when you got teams to hate. And I think that like Texas is a hateable team, Notre Dame's a hateable team, but it's Miami, the U is a hateable team. So it's good when college football, I think, has some of
it was Kevin Sumlin who I was thinking about.
Kevin Sumlin. Yeah,
Sumlin. And then I think he went to Arizona after that.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, after A&M or something like that. And so I remember.
First we had Art Files. He went from here to Baylor. Then we got Kevin Sumlin, went from here to A&M, and then we got Herman, went from here to UT.
Mm-hmm. So I mean,
I thought Herman was going to be good. I really did.
I thought so too. Like I really thought he was going to elevate UT also because I
pray for his downfall and it happened.
But he took the money as anybody would. Really, like you can't blame him for that.
Now is it? Do you have Steve Sarkisian? Who's UT's coach?
I'm from Houston. I have no idea who the coach.
Oh, you're like
wonderful question. We have not looked at it
because somebody one of ESPN Cleveland, Dale Davison, shout out to him, but his son got offered by UT the other day, and I think it was Sarkisian. I think it's a coach.
He got offered by them.
Yeah, he got offered by them. He was at Cleveland Glenville. They won the state title in Ohio this year. So shout out to the Tar Blooders from Glenville.
And right now, Tom Herman. Speaking of which, he's the head coach for Florida Atlantic.
Oh well. Watch out for those hurricanes.
Yeah. Well, he lived in Houston, so he's kind of used to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we know MLB
season. I just turned back the screen. Oh, he's going for a refill.
We know MLB season is going to start pretty soon. How are you feeling about your
Guardians?
I'm glad you asked that.
I had to double.
I saw it coming like no.
I was like Guardians.
Well, you know what I always say about the Dolans, they're so cheap. The only thing they really changed was the first couple letters because they're still the DNs, the DIANS, Guardians, Indians. So they didn't.
Let me ask you, because I haven't talked to a Guardians fan about this in a while. What do you think about the name? The name change.
Okay, here's what I thought. Okay, look, I thought Chief Wahoo was the best logo in baseball. They asked Albert Bell and Omar Vizquel. Obviously, it offended some people. It's the world we live in now. Time to move on. Okay, so I'm moving on. Okay.
To me, it's as iconic as the Yankees logo. To me,
I agree. I don't think it offended people. I looked at it as an endearing thing when I was little, growing up. It's the smart look. Okay, whatever. But looking at the Guardians, and you asked me about the name, why I like it, and here's why I like it.
Oh, you like it? Okay.
I do like it. Here's why. Indians, Cowboys, names like that, generic names. They're generic. I'm sorry, but even Cowboy, I know Dallas Cowboys fans would be mad, but it's a Cowboys generic.
Let them be.
Like they're outdated.
Let them be mad.
Yeah. I allow it.
Okay, it's a generic name. Guardians is specific to Cleveland. because on the bridge, the Hope Bridge, there's traffic's of guardians, like these things, okay, on the bridge, and so it's specific to Cleveland. So I love names when somebody would say, why like would go up to you and say, well, why is your baseball team named the Guardians? And you can say, well, it's specific to Cleveland because on the bridge there's these guardian statues, and it fits with the city. As stupid as it is, and believe me, I think it is kind of stupid. At least it's Cleveland specific. They could have named them the Cleveland, and anything, and it's just generic, and that's why I like it. It's specific, just like the Houston Texans. When you got your expansion team in 2002,
it's not a marketable name.
But at least Texans, it's specific to
Texas.
It's specific to Houston. You know what I'm saying? It fits, and that's why I like it, and that's why. And plus, honestly, they kept the same colors. The gear doesn't really change that much, and so when I look at them, I honestly still see the Indians, so I'm okay with it.
It was an easy transition for them.
I feel like they should have called the Cleveland LeBrons. I will die on that hill. I feel like that would be an amazing name.
You opened Pandora's box. Let's talk about the
By the way, this is a segment while I stay quiet because I don't know anything about basketball. So
okay, I won't even make it about basketball. Okay, this is about a girl that dumps you twice for the prom. Okay, you left us twice. I appreciate you coming back. I appreciate 2016. And honestly, look, he had every right to leave. It's free agency. Look, I can't tell a man where to go. It's his family. It's his livelihood. I get it. Some people got all mad about it and all upset about that. I was mad the first time because I thought in 2010 when he went and made that decision, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach. I thought, don't go on national TV and punk Cleveland. Cleveland's already had the drive to fumble. Cleveland's known for, look, I'll say one thing. Cleveland is not Buffalo. Okay, Buffalo 4 straight Super Bowls. Didn't win one. Cleveland went to the finals against Golden State. We were 1-3. We got our one. That's
what counts. You got one.
We're not Buffalo, New York, so that's good. But with LeBron, you know what? I'm always going to be a little bit bitter because I just wish he would have stayed in Cleveland. But I understand, and but I look at this young Cavs team, and I think there's some good things with Garland and Mitchell. And
got a lot to look forward to.
I didn't think Mitchell was going to work as well as it has.
Oh yeah,
because I thought when I see Mitchell and I see Garland, I see no defense on that.
There's on nights there's not there are nights where there's no defense.
Like they really rely on Jared Allen and Evan Mobley to take care of the dirty work.
Guard the paint, get basically make those guys take those tough shots because otherwise there's zero defense at all.
And Evan Mobley, let's be real.
Here's the goal, score.
Yeah, it's like
the one thing about Evan Mobley is that ever since he got drafted, ever since he started playing really well for Cleveland, people are like, "Oh, he's the next Hakeem. He's the next Olajuwon over here." I'm like, get the hell out of here, my guy.
Absolutely not. There was one Hakeem and one Hakeem only.
He came to a crappy team, and he said, "What number 2 overall pick?" He was always going to play well. He was always going to play good. Okay, so, but
I see more of a Kevin Garnett, more of a player like that. He's.
I can see that. I can see that.
I mean, I don't.
So anyway,
you're gonna do me dirty like that? Look,
Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett, KG, MVP, KG. Is that what you're talking about?
He'll never be as physical as Garnett.
I mean, it's a better comparison than Hakeem.
Yeah.
There's only one Hakeem.
I'm a better comparison than Hakeem. What you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't the one. If you talk to Rick Bucher and talk to some of the NBA analysts that when he was drafted, they said it. Maybe I'm regurgitating a little bit of what they say. I don't think he'll ever have, like I said, the physical prowess of a KG. He'll never have that drive and I'm going to kill you to win this basketball game like KG had. I'm not saying that, but the fact that he can spread the floor, he can shoot. He's about roughly obviously the same height.
I really like it. When he got drafted, that was the same draft as Jalen and Cade. And honestly, so he was number 3 overall pick.
Oh, thank you guys for taking who you took. I forget who did you guys take that draft?
We took Jalen. We took Jalen Green. and no, laugh all you want. I'm really happy with Jalen. He is a walking bucket, 100%. But I feel like as a rebuilding team, I feel like Mobley was probably the better pick.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get Wemby this offseason, so it's all good. It all works out.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, out of his class, Jalen has the most, 30 and 40-point games. Like, no one's even close to him.
Offensively, yeah, but he's also no defense. But again,
he's
going back to
he's James Harden, long hair.
No
all
defense.
offense, no defense.
James Harden, he didn't try on defense, but
he's not Harden on off like his level. But I mean,
yeah, but Harden can get you like 10 plus assists.
Well,
yeah,
2019 Harden was like that was a level of offense I've never seen in my life. That was just that man carried that team for months, averaging almost 40 points a game. Like, bro,
he took you guys to the Western Conference Finals one year, didn't he? Or
a couple times. It
was a couple times, yeah.
Yeah.
And we should have won. And we should be talking about James Harden as being, better than Dwayne Wade, which some people still, argue against because Dwayne won championships. Okay.
He won because of LeBron. I mean, he did win one in 06 though with
Shaq. With Shaq. Okay. Like Harden was gonna do it with like a Chris Paul on one leg, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah, I would give you that. If James Harden in his prime against Dwayne Wade, I definitely would say I'd take Harden.
Yeah, see, a lot of people on Twitter will say otherwise. Just
But
because Wade is a legend and he's an OG, and I love Wade. I love his game. He's like one of the better defensive guards that I've seen.
But James Harden
consistently. But
couldn't. I mean, he's 55 a game basically.
I think 55 a game. Go to a strip club, come back the next day, and drop another 50.
Yeah, your favorite team every night, out of shape. You look at him. That's not a basketball. This dude has a beer gut. Like, it's not a basketball player. And they'll drop 50
stroke.
And honestly, that's kind of why I love Luka as well, because he's never like in shape, but he's still giving everybody 50 on.
Right?
He's thick. He's thick.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
He's thick.
But yeah, going back to the Cavaliers, like I feel like I didn't think like Mitchell was gonna work out. I really thought he was gonna go to New York in the end, but
I do too. I think to the big market team, but no.
I'm looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs and see how this team really performs in the big games. Like I want to see
I can see them. I think they might have matchup. I think maybe with New York or maybe with whatever like that.
I feel like they can get out of the first round.
That's the thing. I think if they'll get out of the first round, make the next series competitive, win maybe 2 games in the next round. It's a good season. Then I'll take that.
Unless you go against Milwaukee. If you go against Milwaukee, you're done for.
Yeah, and Boston and Milwaukee is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I would love to see a Cavaliers Philadelphia matchup. I feel like that
I agree.
Be good.
I think Embiid will be, if you can get Embiid hurt or maybe missing 1 or 2 games.
I love how that's the game plan, right?
Well, I mean,
at that point,
game 1 is like go for his ankles.
I mean, at that point, Harden's going to turn in 2019. Harden drop 50 on you. Like,
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Harden does love hurting Cleveland. Every time we play Harden, he does put up some big numbers.
Yeah, no, we'll see. Like I said, we're gonna get Wemby this year, so the Rockets in 3 years we're gonna win a championship. Man, okay, maybe I'm talking out of my ass a little bit, but
are you sure? Do you feel comfortable?
I will call something.
Rudy Tomjanovich, underrated head coach too, by the way.
Right?
Agree.
He never gets props, but I think he's a great coach.
Team, and they won the finals against Orlando, the number 1 seed. We had Shaq and Penny.
They got the broom out, man. When you get the broom out in the finals, man, you ain't messing around. When you get
and we would have beaten the Bulls if they would have played us.
Yeah,
I know, because everybody's like, "Oh, Michael was playing baseball, and those are 2 championships."
I will die on that hill. We would have beat the Bulls 2 out of 2 times.
Hakeem would have dropped 40 on whoever they had guarding him.
Sam Cassell was really good. You had some good players on those Houston squads.
Well, did we have Clyde?
That was the second one.
That was the second one.
That second championship, that was just, man, it's like it's very reminiscent of when the Astros won in 2017. Like, no one gave them a chance, and hey,
now you Astros team, man. I don't think honestly, you guys are the favorites this year, and I don't.
As we should be.
As we should.
You lost Verlander though, right? Lost Verlander.
Yeah, but we kind of felt like that was going to happen. We felt like that was going to happen with Justin Verlander because he was already coming at the end of his contract.
Yeah.
He was going to get that back. He was going to,
which he deserves.
He deserved it. Just I think we have too much. I hate this, because it's going to sound like we're like, how the old Yankees fans were like, oh, we can get rid of this guy.
Right,
we can get rid of that guy.
Right.
We've proven we can do it, and
yeah.
I would have said just keep Kate Upton though. Can you keep Kate here?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
Right.
saying.
I'm saying. That she flicked off the Philadelphia fans in Philadelphia during the
that's
Phillies
hot.
game.
We should
That
trade.
was
We should trade somebody for Kate Upton. We should send
Davis
somebody.
Mills.
Davis Mills.
Yeah, he's got to go.
Sorry, Davis. You take a lot of flack.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As he should.
You haven't
As
heard
he
the word.
should.
Rios has gone off in the past about Mills. So
Yeah,
You're not
he's
wrong.
a-
Him and his fan, like I don't understand how a backup quarterback has a cult following. Like how?
Does he really? I cannot. When you
He
guys
does.
just
I
telling
mean,
me this,
ridiculous.
It's just he's got the remember Stans. It's basically like Davis Mills Stans.
Baker
yeah, we have
Bros.
Baker. Like I said, we have Baker Bros. But
Yeah.
they're really legitimate.
at least Baker's
fans that
good.
want him to be your
At least
starter.
Baker is
I-
good.
And
Debatable.
He won at some level.
Yeah, like
I mean, Davis won at 0 levels.
But
Okay.
but Rios, there are people in Houston. I just want to make sure that I'm hearing this correctly. There are people in Houston that want you guys not to draft a quarterback and have him be your
That is
quarterback.
correct.
That is absolutely correct.
Are
there's people
they?
in Houston that
They want to give
say
him a third year.
there's people in Houston that say Mills is a franchise quarterback. The only
Oh, yeah.
mistake they make is the franchise is probably like the Roughnecks.
I don't
So-
want to
Not
get
the
political,
Texans.
but maybe there's too many drugs going across the border, and those are the people taking them.
I feel like there's not enough. I feel like there's not enough. Like,
It's not enough.
I don't
No.
know.
What's crazy is that like a lot of these guys will defend Mills for anything. Oh, he doesn't have a good receiving
No
core.
way.
He doesn't have a good line. He doesn't have this. I'm like, bro, you can add the Dallas Cowboys line from 2011, 2012. You can add Jerry Rice, Megatron, all these dudes, and he was
Randy
still
Moss
throwing
is
by
fine.
30 miles. Like
He'll still be mid
He's
at
still-
best.
He'll still aim for Burkhead the whole time.
yeah. Rex Burkhead, like I don't know, we're like it's just not. It's just time. I think like he would be a great backup quarterback, or he would absolutely dominate the XFL. Like that's how I see it. Like
He could be like a Teddy Bridgewater. I'm telling you, he could be like this backup quarterback that can come and maybe win you a game.
Backup
Yeah,
QB
like,
is the best position in sports. You have no
Right.
expectations. You get paid a lot of money to just be an insurance policy.
I mean, I've seen Tua's head hit the ground too many times. Give me the back. Give me the
I'm
clipboard.
saying.
Give me the
Yeah.
clipboard.
yeah,
Look at
I'm
Chase
saying.
Daniel, $42 million in career
Oh,
earnings.
that guy's the pimp of the backup right there.
$42 million in career earnings. Probably throwing less than 100 passes in the league.
Yeah, I'll
Hey,
sit.
He'll still know his name in 20 years. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hey, it's
It's
like Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby Bonilla in the NFL. Like he's just
Bobby Bonilla.
1 million every July 1st. Or
Every
whatever
July
it is.
1st. Bobby
That's all
Bonilla
you
Day.
need.
That's
all
the
you
American
need.
dream. Bobby Bonilla, the American dream. Being paid.
That is,
not to play.
Only in America.
God bless America.
Yeah, man. But no,
Yeah.
going back to the Astro stuff, it when he left, we saw it coming because there's no way that the Astros were going to pay him that much. Even as good as you are, all that you probably have like two more years, if anything, on you.
I feel like we got the last of them.
You got a
Yeah.
World Series title. You got
Right.
no apologies
We-
needed.
we did, but if you really think about it, if you go back and look at it, like he was also a big reason why we almost didn't. In the first game, and even a little bit in the second, but except in the second game when he came out, they knew when to take him out.
But against the Yankees, he was pretty good though. Against the Yankees,
Yeah,
was pretty
he
good.
dominated the Yankees. Like that was, and that's the thing that's been a recurring pattern for the Astros to dominate the Yankees since 2015. So that's always a good thing. That makes me
I'll never
happy. That makes my
appreciate
heart
that.
happy.
Your
I'm sure you
comebacks
too,
against the Mariners were awesome too, by the way.
dude. 18 innings.
Yeah.
18 innings.
tell me-
When's the
tell
last
me
time you
why-
saw that?
Tell me
I made
why,
2 beer runs that game.
dude. Tell me
beer
why
runs.
I made it home, and on like the last 2 outs of the 9th inning, and I still
yeah,
managed to
Marquette
watch
won
a
that.
whole game.
Yeah, you got to watch the whole game, right?
Man, I watched that whole
Dude,
game
so-
afterwards.
I made 2 beer runs. Like this game's too long. Damn it, man! I gotta go to the store again.
But we also own the Mariners. I just wanted to tell you guys that.
You do.
We
What,
own the
what
AL.
was it? 20 years to make
Yeah.
the playoffs just to lose to the Astros? I mean, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. What do you guys think about the new pitch clock and stuff?
I hate it.
I hate it.
absolutely
It's gonna be a mess this year with
See,
it.
I feel like it's a great idea.
What?
I feel like the
Wow.
pitch clock is a great idea
In
because
what way, sir?
as much as I
So anyway,
Get him
now
out
I
of
don't
there.
feel like I'm the only one that got exiled. I feel good.
Get him out of there. Oh,
No, that's just great. I like that.
he thinks like I can do that too. Anyway,
No, I think that you make some good points about the pitch clock. I think what it is, minor league baseball, I think it's been doing it since around 2015.
Yeah, they have been.
So
Yeah.
I think this year is going to be a shit show, probably. The show will be, that way. But I think as players get accustomed to it, I like what Major League, if games can average, 2.5 hours like they have been, like I love baseball. It's my number. I really love it. I think it's a leisurely thing, but I have a family. You go to an NBA game, it's going to be this, about 2 hours, 10 minutes or whatever like that. You watch an NFL game, it's 3 hours. The one thing I remember going to opening day, this is 1992, Indians versus Red Sox. It was 6.5 hours. It went 18 innings. And I stayed for it. It was fun. Of course, the Red Sox won. But, the thing about baseball with, makes it great is it doesn't have a clock. And it still doesn't have a clock per se when it comes to, determining like the periods and the innings and things like that. But just speeding it up with the pitch and stuff like that, it has a clock now. But it doesn't. You still need to get the 27 outs. You still need to get that. What's wrong with speeding up the pace of the game? I just think it is going to take 2 to 3 years for players to get acclimated to it, and it'll be a better product. But you got to start sometime. If you don't do it now, it's never going to happen.
Right. I feel like they should have started a long time ago.
Probably.
When you put it like that, they probably should have started.
I feel like the first month or two of the season is gonna be very, very bumpy. But
I think the penalties are too harsh. Here's why. Okay, like I saw, like if the batter's not in within 8 seconds, he can be called, a strike. If the pitcher's not within the 15 seconds, be called a ball. I think at the end of games, maybe in the 8th and 9th inning, maybe for the first, they shouldn't have it then because those are critical, especially like those are too critical of times and games can be decided. Maybe waive that off in the 9th inning so that you can actually like go through your full, you know what I'm saying? Just for like the first year and then maybe the next year. Cause I think that I don't want games to be decided because he didn't get in it within.
But then what happens if it goes to 10 innings or 11 innings? Or
that's
the thing.
I don't know.
I feel like whatever they decide, just stick with it. Just write
Fair
it
enough.
Hey,
Papi. All right, man.
Stick with it. Write it out for the rest of the season and let's see how it goes.
Okay. I want a game to last 3 days. That's what I want.
I love those too, though.
You'll be watching it by yourself, bro. I cannot.
Just for me.
Hey,
I cannot do all that.
I got the liver for it. I can do it.
No, that was a wild night though. That was a really wild night.
I don't know, man. That Mariners game was taking years off my life.
Yeah, well, the Guardians went 15 innings against Tampa in their I forget before the division series, that play-in series or whatever you call it nowadays. You know, but they won the first game. In the second game, they went 15 innings and they won 1-0 with an Oscar Gonzalez home run, and that was taking years off my life as the 13th inning, 14th inning rolled around 50. I can't imagine 18 innings of playoff baseball. That's got to be nerve-wracking. But the fact you guys,
it made me get tired of baseball. It made me get tired of baseball for a little bit because it was just like, wow, that was a lot. Like I remember like trying to watch the games afterwards. I was like, come on.
And like honestly, it wasn't like it was like a defensive showdown. Right. I feel like everybody was just asleep. Like nobody was
plugging.
Yeah, nobody was making contact. Like everybody used their whole bullpen pretty much. I feel like I think the only person that didn't pitch was Urquidy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was the only one. He was the one that was next, Urquidy from us. Like,
I was like, please, somebody end it. I don't care who it is.
Well, that game, honestly, say the Mariners would have won that, and you would have went to a game 4. That would have been interesting to see what the pitching.
It would have been 2 pitchers.
They have to call the entire minor league squad just to get up there.
Rios, how good's your arm? They might have called you in there.
You got a jersey. Come on in.
Yeah,
I'm good for one throw. That's
one throw. My man's got one throw.
A 52 mile per hour fastball. That's all.
And it counts as a ball. It doesn't even count as a strike.
That'd be a wild thing out there.
Mine doesn't register on the pitch clock. But hey, whatever.
And then it's gonna be like a thing of ice right here.
Get Tommy John.
I'll be a wild thing out there. 90 miles an hour.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like the pitch clock is a great idea, and we've seen some in the spring training or whatever. I feel like it's gonna be, people are gonna take some time to get used to it, but I feel like in the long run, I feel like that's the way to go. As far as the shift goes, I feel like that's gonna make the games a little bit more interesting as well. We'll see.
I don't, I don't like the shift, and it goes back to what Albert Bell said. How bad are baseball players nowadays fundamentally that if they put a shift on you, you can't hit it the opposite way of the shift? Like like you're a Major League Baseball player and you can't just put your front foot forward and then put the ball somewhere else. It's ridiculous that they can even shift and you just hit right into it. Like, my goodness.
But if you're right-handed, it's a little bit more.
I mean,
you know what they said though. You know what they say. Like, hitting a baseball is probably the hardest thing in sports. And my guy just went off. Okay. Hitting a baseball is
your guy shifted somewhere else.
I promise that wasn't me. Yeah, like hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things you could do in sports. So it's like,
I have like internet problem. Oh, there we go.
Why are you moving me?
You suck. That's why.
There it is.
There we go. God damn. I swear to God.
Uh-oh. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
We should
from the
put our
bottom
guest at the top. We should put our guest at the top from now on. That's
all good.
He is at the top. God damn it. I just want to be on the left.
Sorry, we're done.
That's all good. But yeah, go back to shit. Like, baseball is hard to hit.
Anyway. Baseball
OCD person. Look at him.
So I am. You know this. Anyway. I don't know. I feel like banning the shift is gonna make games a little bit more interesting. We'll see. I'm just glad the MLB is actually trying stuff to make the game a little bit faster, to make the game a little bit more interesting. We have 145 million games a year. As much as I love baseball, I still think there's too many games.
Yeah.
But because I feel like 120 games is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always that last stretch where I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the playoffs to start. But we got 40 more.
I mean,
games
we're going into November now. We start in March 31st, and we played the World Series till November. That's a little long.
Yeah, exactly. Time. Especially because football already started by this point. We got basketball. Like I feel like it overlaps too much. But I just like the MLB trying new stuff. So
yeah,
I'm excited. And like at the end of the day, it's not going to matter because the Astros are going back to back.
I couldn't say you're wrong at this point. I'll tell you one thing though. Guardians Astros ALCS. Let's go.
I'd see that. You know who I like. What did you guys
I'm sorry, but that's not happening.
I have family in Cleveland.
I know you're a guest, but I'm sorry that's not happening.
Well, wouldn't you rather see us than the Yankees or anybody else?
Dude, nothing makes me happier. Nothing makes me happier than beating the Yankees.
Even though you own the Yankees. So
he's a very sad man, as you can see.
It adds years to my life.
Yeah.
No,
it's like an early Christmas.
It really is.
Hey, so how did you like Miles Straw? He used to be with us, and then he was with you guys over there.
Right, well, let's talk about Miles Straw. Defensively, A+. Offensively, F.
Yeah, he was like what was he? He was like our Trey Mancini, basically. Defensively, he was pretty good.
Mancini was clutch when it mattered
the most.
That's what I'm saying. He was like Trey Mancini.
He had the same amount of home runs as all four of us last year.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, I like that. There was, I think it was pretty much this season when he started arguing with like the
Yankees when he had that brawl, that brouhaha.
Yeah.
I was like, he's got that H-Town in him. He's just talking.
He's got some dog in him. He definitely has some dog in him.
He just needs to hit the ball a little harder. That's it. Yeah. That's all he needs.
But I would be remiss if I
didn't ask all period.
I gotta ask you guys this question. What, because like I know I have my perceptions of Houston. You guys won basketball championships. You won baseball championships. Obviously, you're the Texans are too early. I mean, you're like the Browns. You're an expansion team that keeps doing 5-year rebuilds that are taking 20 years. I get that. So we're in that same boat. But what is you guys is going around? What is your opinion about Cleveland, Ohio, sports wise, and of all the teams in Cleveland, which one do you see winning a championship next?
So actually, I have family that lives in Cleveland. I've been, following them for a long time. I have family out there. As far as winning, you guys have suffered for a long time. I was very, very happy when the Cavaliers beat Golden State because I hate the Warriors. I hate Steph Curry. All of them. Hate them till the day I die. Will always hate them. But
could be any day now.
Yeah.
I would like to say
if winning it first, I would say probably the Cavaliers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if Deshaun Watson works out for you guys and everything else around him, if he's got weapons, if Deshaun works out for you guys, and he's got all those weapons, you may have a shot with the Browns. I know that's hard to say out loud, but you guys have got the lot. But then again, like you said, you haven't had a consistent quarterback. Like I don't like Deshaun personally. I think he's a terrible human being, but at the end of the day, the talent is there.
Yeah.
I think if you surround him with, I mean, even if you didn't surround him with weapons, Houston did that where they took away a lot of his weapons and he still thrived. You know, obviously the record didn't speak for itself, but he still had his stats. But I think if you guys can surround him with things, some weapons, give him a receiver, give him somebody. He's got, I think you guys have a good shot with the Browns making it at least pretty far in the playoffs. But again, that would have to mean that trade that you guys did for Deshaun Watson and all that money you paid him, that would be worth it. Does that make sense? That's the only
absolutely.
All accounts.
So what I would say, and it's funny because it looks like we're going all different directions.
You're going with baseball, aren't you?
Yeah. I hope he does. Okay. I wanted World Series championship in Cleveland more than anything.
Okay,
tell me, Poppy. Tell me it's the Guardians.
So let me walk team by team, right? So I feel like the Browns, as good as Watson is, and there's something about the Browns, and I'm sure as a fan you would understand.
I understand it.
There's something about the Browns that no matter how good they can get, you guys are always gonna choke it somehow.
The Browns are gonna brown.
Don't get me wrong. Before Watson thing, like you guys were one of those teams that I would root for, just because of how much you guys sucked through the years.
Like the Cubs used to be, lovable losers.
Yeah, exactly. Then you guys, started making moves, trying to get competitive. But I feel like in the DNA of the team, man, I just don't see it. Maybe it's because I'm looking at it from the outside. I'm not like a fan. I don't know.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I don't see it happening. The Cavaliers is a fun one. Yeah. I like the Cavaliers. I feel like I'm never been a LeBron necessarily hater, but I kind of saw him like Brady in a sense. Like he's just very good, so it's easy to root against him. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't happy when y'all won, but like I respected it and I admired it. The team you guys have now is very fun. It's you guys have really fun players. I feel like you have a good coach, and I feel like the team can only get better. But the East is it's insane at the moment. When you got Giannis, who still's got like at the elite level at least 5 years of dominance, maybe 7. You got the Celtics with Tatum and Brown. Like I just don't see the Cavaliers breaking into that top tier for at least the next 10 years.
Okay.
So you go with basketball?
No. So the Guardians, right? So the Guardians, it's a fun one, right? It's a fun one because it's kind of like, how the Braves or like the Nationals,
came out of nowhere,
out of nowhere, like got really good. Like they made a few good signings. They got a few good players.
We don't say those names, sir.
I know it hurts me because the 2 championships that the Nationals and the Braves won, it was against us. But I kind of see
my chest.
Agua, por favor, agua.
But like saying that, like right now, I'm looking at y'all had 92 wins and 70 losses. Y'all were the top team in the AL Central.
Yeah,
you guys are making your way up there.
Exactly. I can honestly see maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but like in 3 to 5 years, I can see the Guardians if they keep everything together and they maybe add a new addition here and there, and then kind of like the Phillies last year.
They came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like third place in their division.
Exactly. They came out of nowhere and they gave us a series, and they had me worry at times.
They were more competitive than the Mariners.
This man,
exactly.
They insulted him, and it was game over.
They were more competitive than the Yankees and the Mariners.
See, except for game 1, of the World Series, there wasn't a game where I didn't go in worry. I thought game 1, I was super confident we're going to beat them, and we lost. Right. Yeah. So after that loss, I was like, okay, they can honestly win any game at this point. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the Guardians can be that team in a couple of years where like nobody's expecting it. Everybody's talking about the Dodgers. Everybody's talking about the Padres. Everybody's talking about the Phillies. Everybody. And then they win a game and they win a series and then they win another series. And
World Series.
All of a sudden Altuve can't hit for nothing. Jordan is injured. McCullers is throwing like what is it? What was he doing? He was
his Tommy John, not Tommy John. I'm sorry. He had he busted his there was
And
like
then-
some sort of ligament issue or something.
exactly, and then the Guardians just take it all. I can actually see it. And if I had to put money on one of those teams winning it within the next 10 years, I would say the Guardians.
I like
to
the
see y'all get
answer.
something.
I wish Houston would go back to the National League though, make it easier.
Hey, you know what's crazy though? We got a lot of these guys that we got them for a good while. The only one we need to sign up.
You guys.
It's the only guy that we need to really sign is Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker is in arbitration right now with the Astros.
Yeah.
I think he lost his case.
But it's only like the difference was only like 500,000, right?
No, that was Javier. This was Christian Javier.
Oh, okay,
They ended up actually getting Christian Javier. So you got Framber Valdez as your ace, as your starter. Now you got Christian Javier, which is
That's
he's
probably
part
like
of the
1A, 1B, basically.
Yeah,
Basically,
1A,
yeah.
1B. They're both pretty good. Then, I mean, the third spot, it was technically supposed to go for Lance McCullers, and it just depends. The thing about Lance McCullers, and this might be a little off, I see he's at a point where he can be like Luis Garcia or Jose Urquidy, where he has his days and that inconsistency. The only thing about Lance McCullers, he's got a mean fastball, mean slide.
I feel like this
Like,
year
no, the
could be
curveball.
his
That's
real
the Yankees
breakout
about
season.
curveball.
One more time, Bobby. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
I feel like this year's is McCullers like make it or break it.
Make or
into
break.
Superstardom season. You know what I'm saying?
And he's very hyped. Like he's the guy that
Because we thought he was gonna be our ace.
he seemed like he was going to be our ace, but then he's not. But then we got guys like Hunter Brown, who's very comparable in his style of play.
I don't
to
like saying
Justin
it.
Verlander.
I don't like
Justin
saying it.
Verlander.
I don't like.
He
saying
doesn't like saying it, and I get it. Because now you're
the guy's like 15 years older. Like,
he looks like But now you got guys that how do you call it? We have pitchers that are coming from the Dominican Republic, and that international core is what has made the Astros pitching team like elite at this point. Because Justin Verlander, believe me, Justin Verlander helps you out, but he helps you out for one game out of here and there, and he'll last you about what 5 innings at the most, which is fine.
Yeah,
but you got guys like Framber, you got guys like Christian Javier who are coming from the Dominican Republic.
They're giving no hitters.
They give
you
no hitters
in the World Series.
Yeah, you got Neris who can give you two great.
Abreu as well. Abreu was
Abreu. You got
statistically the best pitcher in the World Series.
Yeah, and ERA based and all that. Like you got guys in the bullpen because if I go back to I think it was a 2019 or 20. What was it when we were in the World Series and we lost it to Atlanta? I can't remember. Was it?
Yeah, it was Atlanta.
Yeah.
So our bullpen was shot. We were like the Phillies where we had to reuse our pitcher like four. It was, and that was our big downfall. We couldn't.
I mean that and the fact that Jordan could have hit a freaking watermelon with a tennis racket.
He just decided to go. He just started slumping at the wrong time, and so it happens because Altuve was slumping at the right time at the wrong time this year too.
Yeah.
But
this time Jordan could hit.
But this time Jordan was able to hit. So it was a balance, and so. I'm glad that we have these guys locked up for a good while.
They need to pay Tucker. They need
to pay Kyle Tucker because that's a guy you're going to lose on offense and on the right field also. That's going to help you out. But one of the things, and I know Poppy doesn't like this, I really, really like that Jose Abreu signing this year for us too for our first base. Yeah. That guy. I mean, you see the home run he did. I know it's spring training, but you see how he blew up that
460 feet. Like,
we know he can do that.
But MVP 2 years ago.
Yeah. The thing that I don't like that is like, we're talking about Yuli Gurriel, who's like 38 years old. He was our best hitter statistically last postseason. He was the most consistent hitter.
He was.
And we decided to replace him with a 35-year-old. Yeah, it was an MVP a couple years ago, but as an Astros fan, you see what we did with Peña. You see, Kyle Tucker is still pretty young. A lot of our pitchers are still pretty young. I want to look to the future, and Abreu is not a guy for the future.
But they only paid him for 3 years, though.
Yeah, but he's going to be 38, 39 by the time the contract is done.
Oh, bring Jose Lima back. It's Lima time. Let's go.
Anyway, it's not that I hate the signing. I think he's going to help us.
Yuli
No,
that was
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna help us offensively, and I feel like during the World Series, during the playoffs in general, that the bottom of the lineup with Mancini, Diaz, Machete, like at the bottom of the lineup, sometimes it was a little bit of a black hole offensively.
it was.
I feel like Abreu is gonna help that a lot.
Yeah,
But it's not like I said. It's not like hey, they
Listening to you guys talk about the Houston Astros is like being at the Masters and you guys all got green jackets.
Yeah.
And I ain't got nothing. Okay?
So let me
Like,
ask you this. Let me ask you this. We all went with different answers for your question.
Yeah.
Real pick basketball.
Guardians are winning it. Guardians are winning it this year. To answer your question,
that's the wrong answer. But
are we in the upside down?
But what would you prefer as a Cleveland fan?
I was 17 years old in '97 when the Indians blew the Game 7 against the Marlins. They were 2 outs away from winning the World Series. I remember 2016, a couple of years ago, Game 7, extra innings. Only franchise ever, Cleveland, to go to 2 Game 7s of the World Series and lose in extra innings. My heart is in baseball. I love baseball. Nothing would bring me more joy. I know I got this Browns hat on now. Than Cleveland to win a World Series. That is before I die, I just want one where that World Series trophy is so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It is.
And I want that commissioner's trophy.
I've seen 2 of them. It's pretty awesome.
Hey, Carlos, we were like 10 feet away from it?
Oh, yeah. We got a really good spots for that parade so I had gone in 2017, right? And I showed up, like 10 minutes before the parade started, which is a huge mistake. And so I got to see I got to see I got to see the trophy. Yeah, I got to see the trophy, but I think I was like 500 feet away. Like it was bad. Like it was awful.
This time around, we got there like 3 hours early.
We got there 3 hours early. It was hot day, which is crazy because it was actually it was very hot out of nowhere. Like the few days before, it was like really cold.
A girl across the street actually started throwing up, and they had to call.
That was throwing up.
They had to call like a nurse or something. It was hot as fuck.
It was bad. And we know about being hot here in Houston. It's horrible in the summers. And this one, it was like it was
2017. Bad. It was a blast. I was drunk at 9 o'clock in the morning. Just
to the surprise of nobody.
No one. Yeah, you were drunk at 9. That's your breakfast there. No, anyway, so so we were at the parade this time, Poppy and I, and we were there, and I just remembered how close we were. We were literally, they had just put like extra railing, and him and I bolted to right there to that railing. So we got like first, like we were on the rail, and we got to see the trophy itself. It's like, we got to see how close it was. It was amazing. Like it was
amazing.
It's beautiful. Like you're absolutely right. It's got to me. It's got to be my favorite trophy.
Because better than the Larry O'Brien trophy. The Lombardi trophy is kind of just. I mean, really.
I have a buddy that made a 3D print of it, and this like.
I'll tell you what.
It's very basic.
Yeah.
The Larry O'Brien trophy, I really like it.
It's nice looking, but nothing's better than the commissioner's trophy.
It's not the baseball trophy.
No, definitely.
I mean, that's just, man, so much history behind it. It's just
I know.
Plus years, just.
As a team that has the longest drought in baseball now that the Cubs beat us in 2016, I'm thirsty. I've been thirsty, and I need to quench it. And hopefully,
Rios is always thirsty.
But I will say one thing. I think for the Guardians to win it, they'll have to upset either the Yankees or Astros along the way. And that's a tough task because I think we have the pitching. We don't have enough bats. I still think we're missing 1 or 2 more bats.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are 1 or 2 pieces away from like actually making like a playoff run.
Serious run. Yeah, I agree. We'll win the division. We'll win the Central because it's pretty horrible.
You should. Yeah, you should win.
As you should, but
Thank you.
Let me ask you this, Ed. So now how we answered your question about which team do we see for Cleveland? What team do you see for Houston besides the Astros to actually win it?
Because this year, no matter what.
Is it the Houston Dynamos? Is that your soccer team?
Yes.
We just got trashed like 3-0 last time I checked.
Yeah, we got horrible. Yeah, we're
3-0.
I think our Columbus,
New England,
our Columbus Crew. We love our Columbus Crew.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys were pretty good. You guys were used to be pretty good a few years back as well.
You guys
won the MLS Cup
on the up and up with the Crew. Like, they're pretty
but
good.
to answer your question, I'm glad that's a great question because you're asking me a rebuild Texans or a rebuild Rockets. That's what your question is essentially.
And the Dynamo.
No, that's not happening. No.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. I think I'm going to answer this and say probably the NBA is really, really tough to win because even when you get good, it takes steps. Like look at the Cavs to answer your question. I think they're going to have to get to a first round and then maybe take out Boston or Milwaukee, but that could be 2 to 3 years away unless you got a LeBron or a Giannis or something like that. The NBA, if you can get a superstar, which I don't know if anybody's really coming out in the next 3 to 4 years. They're off the radar unless you number one pick overall from France or whatever like that. You get him.
Right.
I'm going to honestly, I know this may be shocking. I'm actually go with the Texans. I think in the NFL, if you get the quarterback, and especially if you get the one that you guys are talking about, and I like DeMeco Ryans. One thing I like about DeMeco Ryans, he's a defensive coach. I get that. Unlike Lovie Smith, who defensive obviously minded, took the Bears to the Super Bowl, but it's old school. I think DeMeco Ryans is the perfect new school defensive guy. We had Joe Woods in Cleveland. It didn't work out. But the one thing I did like about Joe Woods was he had these schemes that were kind of weird. I think with the right personnel, he could have been successful. I just think in the NFL, it's hard when you have to change all your defense. But I think DeMeco Ryans will have plenty of time. I think he'll, unlike some coaches, I think he'll struggle his first 2 years and probably pretty bad. Bad. But I think in years 3 to 4, I could see you guys making big moves. I think if you get that quarterback this year, your clock starts when you draft that quarterback and it becomes your guy. And I think it's going to start this year for you guys. And that's why my answer would be the Houston Texans probably will win a Super Bowl before the Houston Rockets even make the NBA Finals.
And see, the thing about sorry, really quick. So when you say that, I agree with you on that. The thing about Lovey, you know how you said, the offensive coordinator. So we had Pep Hamilton as our offensive coordinator, and I was excited for him to be the offensive coordinator because I know it sounds like a tongue twister. Because the way he developed Herbert over there in and I figured when we got him as a QB coach for Davis, I thought, hey, maybe he'll develop him here, and then they turned him into the OC. What are the odds, right? Like it would have been fine. But then he had like a lot of questionable offensive plays, and I was like, what is happening? And then because obviously he was going to run the entire offense because there was no way that Lovey was going to do it because he was focused a lot on the defense. Now I think Lovey did a pretty decent job with the defense. We were okay defensively, but if your offense isn't producing anything, your defense is going to get tired. So there's no point, And so at that point, like, what's the point of your defense getting sacks and all that when your offense, when they have to go right back to the field because you turn over and down? So
they can put points on the board.
They can put points on the board. So at that point, your defense gets demotivated. They stop, whatever. You lose the defense at that point.
Because a lot of our collapses happen on the late third quarter and the fourth quarter. Yeah, because the defense was like gas.
Yeah, exactly. And so at that point, you start thinking, okay, so now, then there was times when like your bright rookie Damian Pierce, like he was going to make mistakes this year. It's understandable, and it goes back to that old school mentality that you were talking about. Rios just died back there. No,
he's back from the dead.
Did you die? What was that?
Yeah, I know we heard that. I was like, dang, that was
like the Taker.
Yeah, it's the and so then like like you said, going back to the old school mentality, like Damian Pierce was bound to make a couple mistakes this year because it's his rookie year. It's a hard transition. So he had a few fumbles, and every time he had one, they would completely take him out of the game and let Rex Burkhead go. And I was like, come on, you're going to let this kid like take that? You're not going to let him, they say in the NFL, you have to get over it quickly. How are you supposed to do that when you bench him and put Rex Burkhead in his place because you made a mistake such as a fumble? And that was one of those things where I kind of in a way lost respect for Lovey during that time because I was like, dude, I had so much high hopes for you, and then because you're a little salty, because you're petty, you decide to bench the best guy you have in the offense,
the only guy you have,
the only guy you had in offense, and put Rex Burkhead. Like, and that's what was confusing me because when you do that, you're like, oh, you're definitely tanking. And so
and then you go and win the last game like an idiot.
Yeah, you use Brandon Cooks, who hadn't been playing for most of the season back, and then like a superstar.
So let me ask you guys this, and I'll give you my answer first. Who would you rather win a championship first out of the Rockets and the Texans? As much as I will love the Texans to win, I feel like I would have a lot more fun watching the Rockets be good, and actually taking the West, a West that's like completely stacked. I know like 3 to 5 years from now, it might look a lot different, but I feel like I would love for the Rockets to be not just relevant, but actually
Dominate.
great. Yeah, dominate. Like again, like we did back in the mid-90s.
Oh no, same. You know how I feel about Jalen. I told you about what I feel he's going to be. And so,
This guy from day one, he's like, oh, he's the next Kobe Bryant.
Oh,
He's
that's the
next
guy you
Kobe
said he was the next Kobe Bryant.
He's the next Kobe Bryant. I'm like, Kobe could defend. That's all I'll say about that.
I would die on that hill, but yeah.
My
we're
answer
gonna put
would
that
be
in
my answer would be the Texans, or would actually be the Rockets. Here's why. I am sick of seeing the graphic that the only teams that haven't made a Super Bowl are the Browns, Lions, Texans, this and that. And if the
Same.
Texans win a Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl before the Browns do, I mean, the Rockets have already won a championship. The Cavs have won a championship, so I'm not really worried about that. But if another team wins the Super Bowl, goes there before the Browns do, I'm going to go crazy. So it has to be the Houston Rockets. Let's go.
So who's
I'll take it.
who's on that list? Who's on that list of teams who haven't made the Super
I'll pull it up. Give me a minute. Just
I know Lions, Browns, Texans, Jaguars.
Cardinal. Well, no, Cardinals made it. Never mind.
Yeah. I think that might be it.
Is that it? Is that really it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
I'm trying to think.
It's not that many. I know that.
Here, I got it.
Damn.
Hold on. Give me a
But
minute.
Cleveland's on
I
it.
pulled it up on the internet machine here.
I feel like we're missing one. I don't know
Houston,
why.
Detroit.
Jets made them. Buffalo, obviously. Dallas.
Okay.
The
That's
Titans.
Number one.
The Titans.
Oh, they made it.
But the Titans made it to a Super Bowl. They
Oilers.
lost.
Oh, made it or won? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just talking about made it. Just made
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
sorry.
made it.
Okay. Yeah. So out of those 12, we could eliminate because I know the Vikings made it. I know, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I think it's
Plus
just the Texans, the
it's
Lions,
Texans, Lions, Browns, and Jaguars.
There's got to be one more.
Okay.
I feel like
There are 4 teams that haven't played in a Super Bowl: Cleveland
Oh,
Browns,
wow.
Jacksonville, Detroit, and Houston.
Oh God. Oh,
okay. Then who do you think is
We
gonna
should have
make it?
stopped right there.
Who do you think is gonna be the last one to make it?
The Browns, probably.
Browns. I was gonna say the Browns.
The
Sorry,
Browns.
man. I wasn't trying to dog y'all, but
No,
the
it's-
Jacksonville Jaguars look pretty good right now, and they almost
Yeah,
made
but they're
it in
not making.
2017.
They're not making it. They're not making it. Jacksonville's not making it.
I mean, they're looking okay, but like I said, the last time they got pretty close to it was 2017 when they went to the AFC Championship.
Blake
which the
Bortles.
Texans haven't- Yeah,
Blake Bortles.
Right.
yeah, and well, they had a pretty good Leonard Fournette going on. They had that.
They were up
elite
20. They were up
defense.
20 to 6 against the
Exactly.
Patriots in the AFC Championship game with like 8 minutes to go and blew it.
And
I-
Detroit.
I actually like as good as Detroit have looked. I feel like I can see the Browns making it first,
Really, before Detroit?
but I can see Detroit winning it first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Oh.
that makes sense.
Because I feel like the Browns will choke it.
I
Yeah,
think
they will. They will. They
I
will.
think the church out there where Cleveland is, being the factory of sadness. It's just
Yeah.
they're up there.
Dude, I still remember when you guys got when the news broke out that you guys got Beckham.
Johnny.
No, when you went. No, this was years ago when you guys got Beckham or whatever, and I was
Oh,
like,
gee.
"What are the
OBJ.
Browns doing?" I was like, "They're actually making moves."
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd that one turn out?
not
so good.
Not good at all.
Well, I think
It's
nobody got him at all this year.
But I feel like that was the first time that I saw like a notification on my phone that was like breaking news, and then like Cleveland Browns, and I was like, "What?"
Going back to that, dude, I always thought to myself because everybody kept blowing, Beckham over, and it was really just because of that play. If you think about it, that was it. That was it. Other than that, but I'm thinking to myself, DeAndre Hopkins had one like before. It didn't count, from far away with Fitzmagic. It just didn't count because they got
I
called
would
back
argue
for holding.
DeAndre is better. Like prime DeAndre
Right.
is better than prime Beckham.
Of course, and I'm just thinking, I thought to myself, everybody's overblowing Odell Beckham, but are skimping out on DeAndre Hopkins. I always thought DeAndre Hopkins was a lot better, and he is. Like I just,
And
He might
honestly-
come to Cleveland. There's rumors.
Yeah,
he might come to
And I was
Cleveland.
about to say, like, I feel like DeAndre could go to any contending team and actually make him so much better.
he's apparently they're trying to get him to the Patriots.
Ooh.
The
with Bill O'Brien
Patriots.
there.
I saw that they need to upgrade their quarterback. I'm not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
Mac
see-
Jones.
I don't
I'm not
see the
sold
pick-
on Mac Jones.
No, he has to go to a team with like a real franchise quarterback.
I could see him go to Cleveland, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I could see that and having that Deshaun Watson connection. Like I could see him.
So
go
if
to
you
Cleveland.
guys win it with Deshaun and Hopkins, I'm claiming that ring.
Our airport in Cleveland.
JJ Watt
That's a
joined
Texas
y'all.
fan. That's a Texas fan, and you guys might as well just get JJ out of retirement if you guys are gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Well, the
Yeah, we'll
airport
follow
in Cleveland is named Hopkins International Airport, so it makes sense.
Ah,
There
yeah.
you go. There you go.
So I could see y'all getting him, and if you do, I would root for Hopkins over there because I've always been a big fan of Hopkins.
That's
He's a
Devin's
cool-
jersey.
He's a cool dude. I met him at training camp a few times ago, and then I asked him a question. He answered it very amazingly. He was signing my hat, and I was like, "Hey, why did you get number 10?" And he told me, "Oh, I never told you all this. I'm sorry, Papi. You'll like this." I was like, "Hey, why'd you get number 10?" And I don't know if he was BSing it or whatever, but he was like, "I like Messi." And sorry, Rios, I forgot to tell you about that.
Only the GOAT.
There it is.
Only the GOAT.
Yeah,
I remember I was watching the World Cup
he
final.
could have been BSing just to get me out of talking. I'm just saying.
Actually, no, he said that in the actual interview also.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's like, I like Messi, so he's a big soccer fan.
The GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
He's not the GOAT.
I am so
Maradona's
glad
the
he
GOAT.
won it. I'm so glad.
Pelé or Maradona's the GOAT.
When France tied it up at 2-2,
I was crying. I was actually
Sorry,
crying.
I'm laughing because I know that Poppy. Sorry, I know we shifted to soccer really quick because I know that one of the times when Rio said Pelé was great, and then Poppy just automatically said, "But dude, he was like playing against like car mechanics."
Yeah, Pelé was playing against mechanics and substitute teachers. You can get out of
Oh,
it.
okay. And Messi got aided by the entire country of Qatar.
Messi was playing against your favorite players, and he made them all
Hold on,
look
man,
like
this always
children.
gets
Oh,
pretty heated
sorry.
between those two.
Six penalties in 7 games. Like, come on.
He got
that was-
detention.
You're
He got
talking
detention, so he got detention.
And
You-
by
you
the
still
way,
gotta
it always
score the
gets
damn
us, like,
penalties.
between those two when they bring about
Your
soccer.
favorite players.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Fuck
I love
out of
it.
here.
It's kind of hard losing. You have the country that controls the world's.
And you know what the fun thing is? He can't do that to me.
Oh yeah, because I get Poppy the password, and then I so we can shun people out, but
I can't call him the greatest though until he dominates the MLS.
Oh, I don't have the power.
oh, he does have it.
Does
Oh,
he?
wow.
Yeah, I forgot I signed in
do.
at his house.
Anyway, if he comes to the MLS, he would dominate.
Yeah,
100%.
I would love to see that.
Because there were talks about him coming over to Miami.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And he
yeah.
sold his
That's
soul
right.
to Qatar to win the World Cup. So
Whatever, bro. Whatever. Be mad. Be angry. Be salty. I like it.
It's not like he's playing live golf.
same thing. They
Yeah, I
Qatar
know.
owns that too.
Yeah. So
I would sell. I just want to say this: if Live Golf came up to me and said, gave me tons and tons of money, I know there's been some atrocities or whatever done, but that's a boatload of cash.
Yeah.
That's a boatload of cash.
I wouldn't blame you for it one bit.
Yeah, I mean,
People have done worse for less.
yes, and yes.
hey, but to be honest with you, if like Messi came over to the MLS, dude, that would elevate the MLS like
Oh,
crazy.
God.
Well, he had a deal in place, and then all of a sudden, coincidentally, I'm going to stay on PSG. That's owned by Qatar. That kind of gave me a World Cup.
I heard somebody wasn't
Be
it
mad.
just
Be angry.
wasn't it
I'm
recently
loving
that Messi's store or whatever his family owns like a
Oh
store?
yeah,
and it-
they got
yeah.
in Argentina. I think
They
they.
want the Qatar money.
all them?
right?
They want the Qatar money.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was in Argentina. I think the store got did it
Robbed
get
or something?
robbed or something like that happened.
They
They
got
said,
robbed.
we're
It's the
waiting for
haters.
you or something like that. They gave like a threatening message in Argentina for him, which was weird because I'm like, I don't hear about that in Argentina, but like you hear about it in my home country, but like you don't hear it in Argentina.
They're not going to talk. They're not here. No names, please. They don't talk
Yeah,
about
no. What? No, it's but that's the message that that was just made publicly by the.
I just hope
media
that
anyway, so.
if he does come to the MLS, he comes to the Houston Dynamo.
Columbus Crew.
It's gonna be in Miami.
He's not going to play in Houston because it's so hot and humid, and then we got those
Oh,
Saturday games outdoors. So he's not.
He's
We
so
are the
sold-
original
Qatar. He's so
franchise.
sold to
Columbus
Miami.
Crew.
What's that?
Columbus Crew, get out of here,
We
Columbus.
are- Columbus Crew is the first
It's
official.
the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not like y'all's new logo.
No, you don't like that either. Okay, so here's the
I'm
thing.
not a
So
fan either.
last year we had a big thing with a Nordique, which is our supporters or big fans of the Columbus Crew, where they were supposed to have a meeting with Jimmy Haslam, who the Browns owner owns some of the crew now. and they had the logo already made, and they put it out there, and they had to redo it, and it was a big fiasco. And I'm just glad they kept the Columbus Crew instead of Columbus Crew SC and all this, because everybody's, you got to have an SC or an FC. No, we are just the Columbus Crew. We always just be the Columbus Crew, and that's how it should be.
I like the name Columbus Crew. I dig
I
it.
love it. I love the name.
The logo, I just I don't know. I like the old logo with like
with the construction. Yeah, I got you.
Because they had like character. It added something to it.
It was very Cleveland, like I said. Family.
Yeah, this one is just a C.
Yeah.
This one is just a C. It
You
looks
know like the other one was Cleveland. Like Cleveland's a blue collar town. Like that was.
You know what I always liked about the Columbus Crew? I could always just picture Snoop Dogg saying, "That's my crew." That's my, you know what I'm saying, or something like, like,
hey man, that's my crew.
Do some crip walking or something next to it.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. I don't like it.
That's fair.
I feel like a lot of things.
I
I don't like the Dynamos. I don't like.
No,
the
what is
Dynamos
it? 1, 2, 3 to the foe. That's Columbus Crew.
Yeah, I like that. There you go. What is a dynamo? What is that?
It looks like it almost looks like a college.
I got it. I'll look at it. It's the new one from the Dynamo. I don't like it either.
It's like an H and a D like intertwined kind of.
But
now we're also FC, by the way. Now we're FC. Houston Dynamo FC.
What is it? Just like Dynamo, like what is it?
I got you. Let me. Look
like our supporters, like the supporter name or what?
Well, like what is the name? Like is it like what is it?
Like, what does the name Dynamo represent? That's what he's asking.
Yeah, like what is it?
If I'm honest with you, I have no fucking clue.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't either. It's not.
At least it's not a fictitious animal like the Cincinnati Bearcats or some.
It's a breed. Hold on.
Or like the Montreal Impacts. What is that?
Yeah.
The Impacts.
The Expos.
The hell out of here.
I missed the Montreal Expos. They should bring them back.
Hate that logo.
See, I don't like that
That's
logo.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
It is. Now show them the old one.
The old one had like a little bit of character to it.
A little bit of character. Show them the old one. Show them the old one.
The old one. This was the old one.
Okay.
Like it does look like an actual like football crest.
Y'all see that, or did I stop sharing? I'm sorry.
You stopped sharing it.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, give me a second. All right.
Useless.
Oh no.
Oh,
I thought I had stopped.
Now you know what, we don't pay you for this.
Yeah, clearly.
I like that. That's good.
Because look, it had history on it, because what they did when they first started this, they had the red and black, the orange and black and the white. Mm-hmm. But do you see the outline where it's colored?
Yeah.
That's because of the Oilers.
Oh wow! Okay,
they made a tribute to the Houston Oilers for that reason.
My favorite helmet.
Subtle.
My favorite helmet, favorite colors. Everybody's like, "Oh, Miami Dolphins." No, Houston Oilers. I love this. I loved old AFC Central games between Warren Moon. I love the three receivers you had: Hayward, Jeffries, and Ernest Givens, and then you got Webster. I love those Oilers teams.
By the way, I posted a
question. Man, they were so fun to watch back in the day.
I posted a question on Twitter, and it got some pretty good views on it. Here, let me show you. It was like, which one of these needs to come back?
Sonics all day. Sonics all day.
Seattle Sonics and the Montreal.
Go to hell. Go to hell.
I'll see you there, motherfucker.
I'll see you there, motherfucker.
You will. I'll bring the beer.
They got 52K views, by the way.
Wow. Hey, no, it's the Sonics. It's the Sonic.
Yeah, it is the one in blue.
No, because the thing is, like, if one of them were to come back, like, where are the Oilers gonna play? Because we already got the Texans.
Tennessee, I'm not a big fan.
Tennessee, the Titans.
The Titans. Seattle has no basketball team, dude.
They need a basketball.
They need a basketball.
I don't care about Seattle. Seattle can go.
That's fair.
Seattle, what's that?
That's fair.
They go to hell.
What about the Cleveland Oilers, since we can't win as the Browns?
Yeah. So the next team, I think the next expansion team for the NBA, I think it will go to Vegas.
See, it has to be two of them. It has to be two of them.
Yeah, so Vegas and probably Seattle then.
It has to be Seattle.
Yeah, I don't care. If you do that, if you go to Vegas, you got to bring Seattle, because I'm not gonna lie. When I used to kind of watch basketball, I like that Seattle.
Wait, hold on. Stop.
Yeah,
watch basketball. You lied.
I did when Jordan was there, because I used to be a big fan of Dennis Rodman. I used to troll people. That was my thing. I think
John Morant. I think John Morant should be traded to the Washington Bullets instead of the Wizards.
Dude,
bring back the Bullets.
This whole John
Morant
the
Bullets.
Man,
what a name.
Him and Gilbert Arenas must be hanging out, maybe.
But it's funny because like you hear about him how he grew up, but he wasn't about that lifestyle. He was he grew up in a a nice household.
But even if he was, dude, even because I've heard stories like like he was actually kind of involved and stuff like that.
Oh,
Dude, he's getting paid. He got paid the max. He got out. Why are you trying to fumble the bag, dude? Why are you trying to like ruin it
Don't
for
shoot yourself in the foot. You got the bag.
Exactly. I don't know, man. I'm just
see what you did
I'm
there.
just not
The
a
Reels
fan of-
leave, or is he loading up again?
Dude, he's got like 8 beers down. Like I feel like we should call somebody. I feel like he's got.
Hey, Rios, is your liver okay? Dude, if he stumbles like on
That's
the
a
way
stupid
back,
question. That's a stupid question. His liver's not okay.
There's not.
you hear him in the back. He just fell down.
Dude, when I went to his house to watch the Super Bowl, after I was done with my first beer, I went to throw it away. I opened the trash can. Dude, it was like 24 bottles on it.
Oh, okay, I got one for you. So when we do on Twitch on Sunday nights, Rios and I go and we do like a watch party for The Last of Us, a TV show, right?
Okay.
On HBO Max.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah,
Great. I love that show. So sometimes I go over there to Rios's, right? So the last
make
time I
out.
went, I go and I was like, hey man, I'm a little hungry. Can I go to your fridge really quick? And he's like, yeah. And so I go open his fridge. There's only beer. Right. And then no. Here's the best part. I should have known better. I asked the most ridiculous question. I was like, can I go to your pantry? And so I go to his pantry and I see a box of chips, right? I'm like, that's the only thing this man has in there. I feel bad. Like I want to start a GoFundMe for him. Anyway, so I go in his pantry and I go reach in for some chips. I'm hopeful the box is empty. There's nothing there. Empty, like my hopes and dreams of getting.
you got to put your Venmo up there or something. We got
Reels, help fund Reels. Yeah, no, but we kind of messed with him about it because once he used to shoot his show in the kitchen, and then one day I called him out on it.
Pantry would be open, and it would
Pantry would be open, nothing there, and I'm like, hey, bro, you need some help, like.
Groceries are
like, I like to
expensive
eat out a
these
lot.
days. You see that? I mean, cost of everything's up these days.
You know what's more expensive than food? Beer.
Beer.
He's
got plenty of that, though. I hear. So.
By the way, this is the Poppy story right now. You know, it's more expensive than food.
Whatever.
Beer. I'll replay that. That's
all right.
Bear.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we've been going for a while today.
Yeah, I think this has been our longest like live for a while.
It's my fault.
I feel like it's been our longest.
I had a good time.
It's always like whenever like it goes over, it means it's a good one.
Okay,
you know. And so
we're gonna go for another.
Either this is a good one or you're a good liar. I don't know, but it's all good.
We're gonna go for another hour.
We were good salesmen, but we were good salesmen. Rios is still a salesman. I used to be a salesman, so we can put up that face, you know. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's been a good one. Like
I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best there will.
Okay, Bret Hart, go complain about Goldberg.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'll show you guys. Wrestling fans understood that.
What was it, the Montreal screw job or what was that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, on this one, yeah. But apparently he's been complaining a lot about Goldberg. Like every chance he gets, he'll complain about Goldberg, how bad of a worker he was. Because Goldberg was, I'll be honest, sorry. To go into that and to cut it quickly because I'm not, you know, I'll talk about wrestling, but it's going to lead us to.
We're going to be here another 2 hours.
Yeah. You know, when we were kids, yeah, we're in our 30s. So when we were, except for Poppy,
get it right.
Yeah, I'm 18. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we used to watch wrestling in its peak and its prime when it was like, you know, the Stone Colds and the Rocks and all that, right?
The Rock and Sock connection.
Rock and Sock, yeah, all that. But rival to that, they had the WCW, and their main guy was Goldberg.
Nitro.
You know, Nitro and all that. The main guy was Goldberg, but apparently they would make him. Yeah, they would make him seem like he was like unstoppable, very dominant, all that, which at his point he should, but he was like a complete unsafe work. He would injure people and stuff like that.
Dude,
and one of them was Bret Hart.
Goldberg eats corn the long way.
Oh.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna cut it off because Poppy is hammered. So,
hey now.
No, so there was an actual like in a match like back in the 90s or whatever that Goldberg was having. There was actually a sign that a fan had that said,
"Oh yeah,
Goldberg
the signs were crazy,
the long way."
Dude, yeah, those signs were crazy. Like
I love the signs.
Like they completely like take them away if anything like that comes out. But
my favorite one was Hogan fears Rogaine. Bro, that was like 30 years ago.
24-inch pythons can't deal with what's going on up
You
top.
can't grow the hair.
Fears Rogaine.
What you gonna do, brother, when the road hits you?
Oh Jesus
All right,
Christ!
man.
Well, it's been a great
It's been
show.
good. It's been a good one. We got to have you back in, and
What-
Oh, no, but I got to give a shout out to We Like Sports, my guys, Peyton, KJ, Casey, and Riggs, and I'm supporting their gear. We Like Sports, so
We Like Sports.
check them out Mondays. So, but no, I'm glad to get to be on
What's the
anytime.
Twitter
you guys-
handles? We could put it on.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, well, they're at We Like Sports. I'm at Ed in Columbus, and so yeah, check us out.
Well, you put George Tarles. That's the guy we
yeah,
had him before.
you had the wrong one. You had the wrong one on there.
And shout out to George_Tarles. By the way, I don't know who you are.
Shout
but,
out to him. No,
Oh, he's the guy that we had on Tuesday, and he was
he's a prospect.
he's
He's
an
a
NFL
prospect.
prospect
Okay.
for Boise State. Yeah.
I meant to put this one. I meant to put this one on my back for our boy Dan. Why is this thing not working?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't have the power,
There you
sir.
go.
Oh, there we go. Can you do it? Can you do it, Carlos?
I got you. All right. And
Big
what
up to
was
Dan
the
and Dan.
Twitter handle?
Big up my boy Dan. This is
Yeah,
for
We
you,
Like
brother.
Sports PC.
Yeah.
No underscore anything.
No.
We like sports.
Yeah, let me see.
PC. So you guys are PC?
Podcast.
Oh, so that's what you call it, the Guardians. Got it.
Sports with a Z, right?
Yeah, it's We Like Sports with a Z PC. Yep.
Got it.
Ooh,
All right.
radical.
There you go. Let me know if I'm right. We
There
like
you go.
sports.
There you go. Follow these guys.
Yes.
Follow these
Follow
guys
them
for
up.
sure.
Look at the. Is it a clothing thing? Because let me see that gear really quick. There you go.
We got
Hold on,
we
hold
got
on. I got you.
Oh, nice.
Go ahead. Show it off. There you go. We like sports.
All
now take it off. Now take it off.
Hey now.
Okay,
Oh, all right.
No, that's the post show. Got it.
That's right. That's right. That's a pay-per-view, everyone, if you want extras.
All right, y'all. Well, follow We Like Sports PC, and also follow our friend here, Ed underscore in Columbus underscore Columbus.
You had a stroke?
Yeah, no, yeah, sure.
You're the one that's
Follow him up,
hammered.
man. All right, so coming up to Tuesday, we're recording with our good friend H-Town Wheelhouse, who's in charge of the Locked On Astros podcast. I'm excited to have him on. He's been on the show before, so we're gonna have him on. So check
Just
this out.
for you, I'm gonna ask him what he thinks of the Guardians going into next season.
Oh yeah, we'll ask him. That dude is
I want that.
very knowledgeable about baseball around.
He is.
I want that.
Yeah, no, you want him? You can keep him. You can have
I
him.
want that ring. I want that
He
ring.
won't leave. You can feed him. You can put food in his pantry.
All right, man.
I'll sell you food for that ring. How about
There you go.
Go on.
Hey, you guys are known for making notorious trades, all right? So there you go. Sorry, I have to go there. I apologize.
I'm
man.
listening.
Do the whole coating thing. Well, actually, don't do it because you might lose hair. So all good.
Plenty here. Come on.
Rogaine, shut up.
For now.
You look.
Anyway,
All right, man. It was a great show. Thank you.
we gotta have you back, dude. We gotta have you back.
We gotta have you
100%.
back. Reach us out. We're gonna. I don't know if I follow you on Twitter, but if I don't, I'm gonna follow.
I
you
will follow all you guys. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
straight
Yep.
up.
I'm
man.
about to follow you.
Yeah. So follow us up and at Just Fans 22, of course, and also for those of you watching, we got these are our Twitter handles, our YouTube, our TikTok, and our Twitch. Just down at the bottom, and of course, if you're on the go and don't want to see our ugly mugs over here, I'm talking about Rios especially.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, and we wouldn't blame you. You can listen to us on the go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Good Pods, and of course Anchor FM. We're everywhere, man. We're
Just
everywhere.
followed
Check
you.
us out, and of course, give follow our good friend Ed at Ed_in_Columbus. Again, take care, guys. I appreciate y'all. Stick around, Ed. Don't go anywhere yet. Okay, we're about to hit that outro. Thank you guys again. Appreciate y'all. Peace.